Okay. I am tired of people using the word hack. Okay? You've got little websites like Life Hacker and Hack This and Hack the Other. No, you're not hacking anything. All you're doing is applying a little handy trick to something, you know? We've no need to apply the word hack to it. When you say hack, you're trying to imply that you're a highly skilled computer expert who is hacking something. You know some special super, way of doing something that other people don't know. Life hacker. Life hacks. Hey, check out this new hack. It's not a hack. There's even people talking about biohacking. Hack, hack, hack. What nonsense. If you are employing some addition of minerals or vitamins to your body in a certain way, or your nutrition is set up in a certain way, you're not hacking anything. Hack, hack. Look, I'm a hacker. Hoo, hoo, hoo. No, you're not a hacker. You're just a person. The, the, I mean, the whole internet is so awash with this childish garbage. It's like it's a joke. We live in an adult, mature, proper world. And the more people get sucked into this childish garbage nonsense, the worse it gets. And the problem is that a lot of people who aren't very socially inclined or socially adept end up getting stuck into computers, and they live their whole lives on the computer thinking it's reality, and it's not reality. And they get sucked into this infantile, childish garbage nonsense that makes them actually really vulnerable to the real world and people who want to control them. It's just nonsense. It's just nonsense. The whole world's become this infantilized, feminized garbage heap. And it's not accidental. The intention is to make people controllable, malleable children. I'm a hacker. Ugh. No, you're not you're not a hacker. You're not a hacker. I'm not a hacker. Someone who knows what they're doing with computers to a very high degree might call themselves a hacker if they are particularly involved in gaining access to someone else's system without the user's knowledge. That's hacking, to my mind. That's what it always was. When people started talking about it in the 90s a lot, that's what it was. You were gaining access to someone else's computing system, whether it was a professional or a private person, whatever, whether it was an organization, whatever. If you hacked it, it means you gained access to it and gained control over it, over some function or all of it. That's what hacking is. Figuring out how to repot a plant isn't hacking anything. It's just a little trick you've learned, you know? There's this weird, creepy, sick fantasy world that's being encouraged among people. And there's all this silly terminology that's being used. Here's another one. Deep dive. Let's deep dive. What? No, you're not deep diving into any topic. You're just examining it. There's just, everything's sort of set up nowadays for babies, for little children. And that is massively disempowering to everybody. Because then they think that the whole world is this little fantasy world with candy floss everywhere and little it's nonsense. The reality of life is gritty. It's hard, and you've got a whole swathe, if that's the right way of pronouncing the word, swathe. You've got swathes of the population, swaths. I don't know. I don't know the pronunciation of that, but you have swathe. I'm going to say swathes of the population who are behaving like children, who are just conditioned to believe that they live in some fantasy world that they can depend. They're all dependent. Dependent little babies. And this is exactly what those who have been ruining the world for the last 20 years have intended. Oh yes, let's shut everyone up by making them into little dependent babies. Scared little dependent babies. That's it. Oh, it's a hack. No, it's not a hack. It's not a hack of anything. Oh, I'm biohacking. Look at me, I'm biohacking. Ah! No, you're not biohacking. You're just applying some nutritional variants and maybe it'll help you function better or something. The human body is incredibly robust. It really is. You don't need special this or special that. And if you were like an elite performing athlete, maybe some particular type of nutrition would be right for you. But it's not absolutely, I mean, it's certainly not for the average man on the street. It's not necessary. Someone will be sitting there completely out of shape, doing no exercise, and they'll have some particular vitamin they're taking, and they'll be like, I'm biohacking. No, you're an idiot. That's what you are. And this is the problem. These people are just, they're not even really living. They're just fake. Their whole lives are fake. And it's being encouraged by the internet. And to my mind, the internet is actually the worst thing that's happened to the world ever. It's just a disaster. The internet has just robbed people of reality. Fortunately, some people do think for themselves. But you've got a lot of people who are it's just a waste of time. They're actually just not really of any relevance to anything. They're just floating along, and it's quite sad, really. I don't think that was ever the case. When I grew up, the people around me thought about things, they communicated about things directly directly with each other, they understood the world around them. The other day I went into Halfords, which is a car parts and yes, it's a car parts retailer for basic items. It doesn't go into everything, but you can buy a lot of things for cars and motorbikes and such things. And I asked them for a Haynes manual. The kid, because they're all kids in there nowadays, because they only employ 5-year-olds. The kid said to me, "Oh, I haven't seen one of them. No, not for a long time." And I was like, I knew that would be the answer. Now, a Haynes manual is a car. It will tell you how to do every single tiny little thing on any particular model of car. And the company that produces them, Haynes, has a whole array of these manuals, and now gone. I presume you can still get them. I hope you can still get them hard copy, that is, in a book. But you couldn't find one in Halfords. Now, if you can't find a Haynes manual in Halfords, there's something wrong. Everything's just become ridiculous. People are not expected to do anything for themselves, and to the point where eventually they're going to be so dependent that they will be controlled. Fortunately, I did hear something the other day that made me kind of happy, and that is that with the introduction of the next mandatory upgrade of Windows, people are starting to investigate other alternatives because they don't want to be controlled. The whole ethos at the moment is, yeah, guys, we've got the opportunity to make every living human on this planet a subservient slave. We don't need to listen to them. Let's go for it, guys. Let's try and crush them and make them do what we want them to do. Every service that they use, every program they use, everything will be controlled. And people don't want that. They've never wanted it, and they will never ever want it. A fraction of people might say, "Oh, okay," and they'll just go along with it. But most people actually want to make their own decisions. They don't like the feeling of being controlled by other people. They want their freedom. And the people who are trying to instill this kind of stuff, they've got a fight on their hands, thankfully. Because they're abusing their position That's all they're doing. They're abusing their position in the market. Windows thinks, haha, or Microsoft thinks, no one will ever learn computing. No one will ever create an alternative. We are the supreme. And I'm telling you, within 10 years, Microsoft will be on the shelf. Because the rest of the world's going to say, oh, really, Microsoft? Well, I didn't want to learn. This is how I feel. I didn't want to learn computing, but right now I'm learning it myself, because the more Microsoft tries to control, and they think they're oblivious, they think that people are just going, oh, okay, Microsoft, I'll do what you want. They're not listening to people's complaints, they're just firing on ahead. And more and more and more people are just going to go, see ya, Microsoft, and they go to Linux. And moving to Linux is not an easy thing. People who know what they're doing with it would say, oh yeah, it is, but it's not. It's not easy to leave Microsoft. Microsoft has been what we've been used to our whole lives. It worked, it works, essentially, but the problem is now there's this insidious, creeping, controlling element that's being rammed into it. The whole of society, there's this disgusting, creeping, controlling mess that's coming for you. And people are just like, nah, we've had enough. The same is true when I look at England. The creeping menace of the ruination of our country through strategic insertion of immigrants. Oh no, we're stopping them coming in. Come on, guys, come on in. Yeah, no, we're stopping them. Yeah, come on, guys. That's how Britain is. And eventually people have just gone, no. There was a massive protest like a week ago in London. I'm glad. Now, another thing, I believe that the people who have orchestrated this don't know what they're messing with the British public. They truly don't really understand what they're messing with. The British people are a very patient people. They're a very intelligent people. Right? We have been somewhat highly organized and militarized for centuries. That's how we built our empire. We're very organized, we're very patient people. We are innovators, we are creators, we're inventors. And we sit there and we look at problems. We don't dash in and make a big load of noise about it. But I think this immigration thing is going to cause potentially what may even amount to a civil war in England. And I tell you, if it does happen, it'll be over quick, like that. Because no one will be able to stand in the way of it. Because the people who are on board with, yeah, let's just have loads of immigrants, they're all just weak. Flip-flops. And the real backbone of this country, the strong people of this country, once it starts, it won't stop. And it won't be chaos. The media will try and paint it as chaos. It won't be chaos. Because it will be the people who have actually been sitting tight for a long time who will actually step in. And the government, in my opinion, won't be able to handle it. And that's sad. Our own government should be able to handle it, but I think they're going to be like, oh, because that's the kind of leadership we have in this country. This is my honest opinion of what is likely to happen. In the government just carrying on blithely as if nothing's happening wrong, nothing's going wrong, is just going to end up with a very serious situation. Very serious. I've talked to random people all over the place, and they're bringing it up. It took other people to mention even the concept of potential civil war. I was like, what? You people are crazy. Or at least that was my instinctive reaction, but the more I think about it, yeah. And the same, again, with the Microsoft thing. Microsoft going on and on, we've got all this power. You don't. And people are just going to leave. So I started off this video talking about, what did I start off talking about? I don't know, some infantilized baby nonsense. But that babyishness, that terminology, I'm hacking this, it's a fake world, it's a fantasy world. I'm just sick and tired of it, and I think reality is going to hit hard soon. And it's overdue. So I'm glad about that. Bit of a random video, but it has sense in it.